Hello humans. On this video, I wanted to show you how to create spec maps on iRacing liveries. I'm not going to show you how to design a livery or make it fancy. I'm not a fancy person. I'm not a Photoshop expert or graphic designer. I just find things that I like, try and copy them to the best I can. But the important part is to add the extra effects, the matte effect, the gloss effect, the pearl effect, or the metallic effect, or a combination of all of them, if that makes sense. I looked around YouTube and I didn't find exactly what I was looking for, and then the ones that I did find, they were a bit complicated for my small brain. So I came out with my own way of doing it. It seems to be working, so I want to share that with you. Without further ado, let's go. So we're now racing now. I'm on the paint section of racing. What you need to do is pick the color you like. You can pick it from this list here. Pick the color you own. I happen to like the GR86 because it's the car that I'm racing now. You can create your own template in a minute. You're going to be able to paint the car in any style that you like. I find it easy to select one of them templates below and then change the colors and add my logos and all that good stuff. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm selecting this template right here. It's because it's got the three very delimited colors. You got the white, you got your blue, you got your red. And it's going to be easier. It's going to make it easier for me to show you the effects of the of adding spec maps to your painting, right? So once you've got the car that you like, this is not relevant. Just need to remember that number there, number 4 in my case, and I'll show you in Photoshop in a minute. And then all you need to do is just click on download template, and what will happen is it will go into your downloads, and then we're going to open that folder in Photoshop. Feel free to use any photo editing tool that you prefer. I just happen to like Photoshop. I've used a little bit of GIMP, but Photoshop is the one that I like the most. That's what I'm going to be using. I'm sure the commands and the shortcuts are going to be fairly similar across all other photo editors, but I am focused on Photoshop. So we're in Photoshop now. What we're going to be doing now is click on open. Go to your downloads. You're going to find the folder of the car that you just downloaded. In my case, it's a GR86. Right click on it because it's always going to be zipped. Click on extract all. It's extracting it to the downloads folder. I'm fine with that. You can pick a different folder if you want. And then you end up with this file here, right? Double click on it and it's going to open the file for us. So now what we've got here is the template of the actual car. You've got a few layers here on the right. I'll show you in a minute what we're going to be doing with them. But this is a simple layout. Some cars, the templates can become a little bit complex to see, but you can kind of tell. This is the right side, that's the left side, that's the bonnet, that's the back, that's the spoiler, that's the roof, those are the top parts of the window here. That is the back of the car, that's the exhaust part of the car. So you kind of get the point of what the car is looking like. Right. What we're going to be doing next is you got a few folders here. This is your spec map folder. This is the folder that it shows you. I'll show you now. For example, if you click on this, the wireframe, it basically shows you the contour of the car. So you can see here, this is like indented into the car because that's where the door handle will go. This is where the engine air intake is. Actually, it gives you an idea when you're painting or coloring, you know that there's an indentation here. For example, there's an indentation there. So it's good to have the wireframe on. You click on this one, it shows you where the numbers will go on the car. So if you want to put a logo here, the logo is going to be covered by the actual number. So it's basically saying don't put anything there, if that makes sense. Same thing with the sponsor blocks. Some cars come with sponsors, so you just it tells you where they're going to be placed, right? You don't do anything with that folder. And the printable area is exactly what it is. Here is, for example, when it tells you, this is the base coat of the car. So whatever color you're going to paint in, that will be the base coat. If you're going to create your own theme, you can turn it on or turn it off. Here is where the car patterns are, right? And here's where the different styles. Let me click on the patterns. So that one here, you can kind of tell by the number 1, car pattern 1 TGA. If I go back to iRacing, it's going to be pretty much is this one here. You can kind of tell that it's the same. The important thing is it says here car pattern 1, but here it's showing a car pattern 2, right? So it's always going to be on Photoshop, it's going to be one number behind. If I want to be pick this pattern here, then I have to go to Photoshop and pick car pattern 3. In order for car pattern 3 to be visible, I need to hide the layers that are on top. So I'm going to hide that one, no, hide, sorry. And hide this one, and then I've got my 3 different colors, my blue, red, and green. I know it's not exactly the same as this, because that's just the way the Photoshop is being created, but we're going to be working with this in a second. I'm going to show you how it's going to look. So basically the red here, red, and red, is blue, and blue. The blue is white, and the green is the red. But don't worry about that part. I'll show you what we're going to be doing with this in a second. So now what we're going to be doing is, this is the folder where the spec map information is being saved. I found it extremely complicated, and I didn't understand what to do. So it kind of puts you off, if that makes sense. So I saw a video where they did it fairly simple. So one of the things I'm going to do, first of all, just delete it, get rid of it, right? Don't worry about the spec folder for now. What we're going to be doing is going to be picking a palette of colors for the car. For the sake of this tutorial, I've kind of pre-selected one, if that makes sense, but I'll show you, right? So what we're going to be doing is, you can go into your browser, right? I typed color palette with a hexadecimal code. I kind of like this one, this color here. You click on there, it takes you to the side, you go here, and then I've got the codes here. I'm going to be using that blue that I like, this purple, and I don't know what color is this. Is it beige? Is it orange? Let me know in the comments what it is, right? And the codes are here, so I'm going to need these codes. I'm going to copy the first one. I'm going to copy that code, and I'm going to go back onto Photoshop. And first things first, on the right hand side, you're always going to find your color palette. You don't have to do this, but I like to create different color palettes. So I open a folder, and I'm going to create it. I'm going to call it Spec Summer Palette. I don't know, pick whatever name you want, right? And within that folder, right, I'm gonna be adding the colors that I like, right? So first things first, go here. At the bottom here, you paste the hexadecimal code that we copied from here. So this code here, and it's kind of selected the right color. Click OK. It puts it in there, and then what you do is you click on Add here. Give the color a name. I'm gonna call it I don't know, awesome blue. Done. Do the same thing with the second color. I'm gonna go back here. I set this purple here, so it's gonna be this one. Double click, Control C. Click on here, paste. It pastes it there. It picks the right purple. Okay, it puts it on here. Select. Like that color. Add it, and we're gonna call it. Guess what? Awesome purple. I don't know if I'm spelling purple correctly. Don't judge me. So good. And last color is that little beigey orangey one. Click on that. Control V. Select the color. Beautiful. Click on that. Add. Awesome. Beige. Is that how you spell beige? But anyways, doesn't matter. Right, so I've got my palette. Just it's basically to keep your colors organized, right? Now I'm gonna start applying the colors to the different parts of the car. Yeah? There's many ways of doing this, right? But I'm gonna show you the way that I find the easiest, right? So step number one is I'm gonna create a new layer. Right, so I click on here. That creates a new layer. I'm gonna bring it just on top of. I think that's fine actually. I'll just leave it there, and I'm gonna call it base paint, base coat, no base paint. Okay. Step number two, I'm gonna select everything that is blue. Right? How do you do that? You can use the magic wand if you want to start selecting bits of the car, for example. Sorry, let me go here. Actually, I need to go to no printable area. Car pattern, select car pattern number 3, and on here you can start picking, bit by bit. Fine, you can do it that way. There's an easier way. Yeah, select the layer, go in the layer where the pattern is, and then all you need to do is select color range, select the color that you're looking for, the blue, right? And it's selecting everything in the car that is blue. When I click OK, right, what it's done is selected everything that is blue. because I picked the color blue. Right? Once that's been done, we're gonna go here. We're gonna select our base paint, right? And we're gonna apply one of these colors here. I'll show you what happens now. Let me pick that blue there. It's selected here. I press B for a brush. You can change the size here if you want, and make sure that the hardness is at 100% because it's a brush. Which if it was like 50%, you have to go several times. Like when you're painting with a brush, you have to go several times before you actually get a solid color. Put the hardness at 100. It makes perfect sense. I'm picking a fairly big brush, and the reason being is because I'm only going to paint over the colors that I've selected, which is the blue, right? So layer selected, go over. There we go. See how quickly. Yeah, is painting all the blues. Right. Then I've got anything that is blue has been painted. You can see here that it's actually coloring the area. Okay. Step number 2, we'll do the exact same thing, but with the reds, right? So we'll go back to the pattern here where this layer is the one that contains information about that red color. We're gonna go up again, select color range. We're gonna pick the red, right? You select the red. But the problem is sometimes when I click OK, it doesn't select it. Watch. Right, so nothing got selected. Nothing, no panic. I don't know what this is happening. Let me know why it happens. But if I do it again now, it's already pre-selected the color red that I was looking for. I click OK, and it selects everything that is red. Why does it do it? I don't know. Again, let me know in the comments if you know how this works. I have no idea. Right. Then we move on, pick the purple. We're going to do the exact same thing. We've got our brush tool, and we're just going to paint on top with purple. Right, making sure that everything that is red is being covered. This is not going to be the perfect tutorial, but you know, it's just to show you the different finishes, right? Awesome stuff. I made a mistake. Actually, let me go back. I made a mistake. I painted on the car pattern. I need to go back. With the selection done, I'm going to go here on the base paint. Now we're going to paint on top. You don't have to do it. You can paint it on the actual template, but I like to keep the template as the original, right? So now you can see here, if you look closely in there, it's it's painted purple, right? Back to the pattern number 3. We're gonna do this exact same thing. Select color. We're gonna pick the greens. Select color range. Pick the greens. It's pick them. You might not select them. Again, we'll just go back. Click OK. It selects all the greens. Go to our base paint layer. Select our color, and then paint everything that is green. That's pretty much it. Right, so now what we've got here is we've got the base paint of our car pretty much done. The next step will be, let's see how this looks on the car. So we're going to do that in a second. Right, what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be checking how this paint is going to be looking on iRacing on an actual car. So you get an idea. You know, sometimes you want to see the final result, right? First thing that you need to do, you need to save your project, which I should have done at the beginning, but I didn't. So let's save the project for the sake of being organized. We're going to click on Save As. I'm going to go to the folder. I'm not going to save it under my downloads, and I tell you why, because when you start checking back and forth, every time you click on Save, it's going to default to this file path here in your downloads. The easiest way to do is to go to the iRacing folder where your paints are saved. So your paints will normally saved. Your liveries are saved under your documents, under the iRacing folder, and then under the paints folder. You're going to get to see all the cars that you own and the liveries. Find the car that we're talking about. In this case, is a Toyota GR86. Double click in there and then save the file as a Photoshop file. In this particular case, I'm going to name the Photoshop file. I'm going to name it Awesome Summer Livery. Saved. Yeah, click OK. And now when I click, if I do a Control Shift S to save again, it's defaulting to the race folder, which is exactly what we're looking for. Now, this doesn't save what we need to do is we need to save the file in the way that iRacing can actually understand it is the livery for this particular car. And then naming convention is very simple. Just type car underscore your iRacing ID number that you can find from your iRacing account. I'm not going to show you how to do that. Mine is 1255458. And then you click on before you do, you need to save it as a TGA file. So you click here, select TGA, right? Click on save. 24 bits is the default that we should be using. If you selected 32 or 16, just make it 24. I've done it at 32 and it kind of messes things up a little bit. I'm keeping it at 24, but you know, it's just my own experience. So I click on OK. It's been saved in the right folder. So in theory, if I go into iRacing, the livery has been applied, right? So we can see how the car is going to be looking. It's not looking bad. It's not looking bad at all, actually. It's a nice color combination. But as you can see, that the finish is all the same, right? The finish is all the same, kind of glossy, like a normal car. But you got an idea how the car is going to look. The next step that we're going to be doing is now we're going to be creating the spec map layer. We're going to add the effects, right? And then we're going to see how it starts looking again. So we're going to do that now. Right, so what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be creating the spec map layer, and then basically just finish the job, right? So we go our painting, all that. First thing we're going to do, we're going to duplicate, we want to create an empty layer. Actually, we're just going to add one from here. Double click on it, we're going to call it spec. You can call it whatever you want, Specular Map, I just call it spec. All right, and that's going to be where specular data is going to be installed. There's technical ways of explaining this. I'm just going to keep it as simple as it is because I don't understand the technicalities. I'm just going to show you what I do and how I do it, and then we'll see the results. Right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to go back into the colors, and first things that we need to do, where it says R, G, and B, make all these values 0 to start with. 0. The easiest way to explain how this works is the R value, it goes from 0 to 255. And this channel here is basically the metallicness, if now there's a word or not, the metallicness of the actual paint. So if a value of 0 is non-metallic at all, a value of 255 is full-on metallic, right? Recommendation for metallics, don't get past between 180 and 200 is fine. Anything over, just as it looks fake. With the G or green, the green channel is what basically makes a car matte or not. A value of 0 is not matte at all, so reflecting, shiny. A value of 255 is full on matte, so it's not much light gets reflected of the car. Again, a value of around 180, 200 max is what we're looking for. And the B, the best way of understanding is the refraction, so how much light bounces off the car, if that makes sense, reflections and stuff. A value of 0 is fully reflective, and a value of 255 is not reflective at all. I'm going to show you a couple of bits, and we're gonna see. What I'm planning to do is I'm going to get the blue a full-on metallic value, for example. The purple is going to be a full-on matte, and the beige, whatever color that is going to be kind of a combination of everything to see like a pearly kind of color, and that would be our final result, right? So let's crack on with this. We're going to close this for a minute, right? We're going to select everything that is blue. Yeah, so we're going to go to this base layer now. You can now, if you want, you can go back to layer 3 if you want, but I think it will work just fine here. Select color range. I'm going to pick the blue. It picks what I needed to pick. Obviously didn't do anything, as we already know. Go back, click OK, and now it's selected, right? Right, with that selection, we're going to go into a spec layer. We're going to go here, and we're going to pick, again, we're going to make all these values 0. 0, and I'm going to get this value, let's go for 200, full on metallic. It picks the red. Don't worry about why it's red, it doesn't matter. Let's click OK, and let's paint, make sure you are on the spec layer now. Paint everything red. Cool, so everything is being painted red, no problem. Now we're going to save, let's assume that we're not touching anything else. We're just going to make this whole red just full on metallic. Right, so we're going to do now, we need to save this as a spec map file, so that iRacing understands that this Photoshop file, TGA file, isn't the actual map, the actual file that iRacing is going to use as a specular map. The way to do it, very simple, Control-Shift-S, save as, go to your documents, iRacing, paint, and find the car, the Toyota's here. We're going to pick TGA, and the only difference, it's the same naming convention, car and your ID, but in between car and your ID, you need to add the word spec and then an underscore, and then you're going to save it as that. That just tells iRacing that this paint from this file is got this specular map. These two files have to be together, right? If you remove this file, the specular map doesn't work, kind of breaks. So you have to have your original paint which is basically this, right? This is original paint, right? And we're putting on top the specular map information, which is this. So click on save, 24 bits, okay. Right, so that's been done. So if I go back to iRacing, you can see how it's changed now, that the blue is very, very metallic-y. You see how much more reflective of is than the purple or the beige. So that's actually worked. So what we're going to be doing now, we're going to be selecting the purple. I'm going to make it full on matte. So let me first of all pick my area. We're on the right layer. Select color range, pick it, click OK. Now it's been selected. Okay, we'll move on to our spec layer and we're going to make it full on matte, right? So we go again, color selector. Everything 0. Okay. Oh, sorry. 0, 0, and 0. We're gonna get this value 200, right? It's gonna be full on green, no problem. This is gonna tell this color green. This is gonna tell how matte the actual selection is, right? Again, press B for the brush, and we're just gonna paint everything that is purple. It's gonna be green now. Cool. All that. And for the sake of it, let's do the beige as well. And we're gonna do a combination of everything. I don't know how it's gonna look, but you know, let's figure it out. Right, so back into our base paint layer, same drill, select, okay, nothing happened, color range again, it's already picked up, there it is. Go to our colors, 0, 0, 0, sorry, and 0. Let's add a little bit of metallicness. I'm gonna go, let's say 80% metallic, 80 metallic. We could do 120, whatever, matte, and then the glossiness, let's make it I don't know, 190, whatever it looks like. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, now we're gonna paint all over. Okay, and that should be our spec map fully done. Let's save, Control Shift S to replace the document, TGA file, find the spec, yeah, select properly. Click on save. You want to replace it? Yes, I do. Click on OK. And now let's see and look at the final result. Go back here. Right, we can see that's the metallic still metallic. The purple you can see is not reflecting a lot of light, so full on matte. And look at this. That looks actually quite cool. It's like a pearly kind of effect, if that makes sense. So it's not, yeah, it's not ugly actually. It's not ugly at all. But yeah, it's looking. Yeah. So you get the three different. Let's make this full on metallic. Actually, just make the purple full on metallic, and then I'll make the blue matte, right? And then so you can see the contrast. Now that you got a visual picture, but this is quite pearly. Maybe if I reduce the matte a little bit more, it'll be a little bit more shiny. We'll do that quickly. This is just like an Easter egg added bonus of just playing around with the values. Right. So we're here. Let's pick this color and let's do less matte. Let's just do 50 matte, for example. Click OK, and then we're going to paint that. Cool. There we go. So you hear in the background my dog is whining, he wants to go out, but he's going to have to wait. Right, and then we're going to make the green, we're going to make it full on metallic, if that makes sense, and see how that looks, right? Let's go back into a base layer. Oh, I made a mistake. Yeah, okay. We're going to go into a spec layer, and then we paint. B for brush. I was painting on the base paint layer, not on the spec layer. That's cool, no problem. Here, select the whole thing. We go back to base paint, select color range. Let's pick the greens. Okay, there we go. Awesome. And we're gonna make this one full on metallic. Let's make that 200. Actually 250, just 255, so you see how ridiculous it looks. If that makes sense. All right. B and then let's paint. Sorry, I need to go here. Okie. Right, all done. Control Shift S. We're saving. We're gonna go here. TGA, Spec Map, save, replace. Okay. All right. Let's have a look. Now you see that the back is a little bit more shiny, more pearly. Not looking bad. Full on metallic. This is metallic within reason, but the door is the maximum value of metallicness that you can give it. I mean, it's up to you. It's personal. It's a personal choice, right? But you know, to me, it's too metallic-y, if that makes sense. And there you have it. That is the final result. I try to make it as easy as possible to understand. I'm not a technical person. This does the job. I'm happy with it. If you know a better way of doing things, let me know in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. I am trying to post videos once a week and a lot of shorts throughout the week as well. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So it'd be awesome if you can help me achieve that goal. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Cheers.